Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Angels Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jeannie Street. Exciting news, my Empath and Sensitive Soul Masterclass is right around the corner. Have you registered yet? I really want to see you there. You can register at jeanniestreet.com/events. So now on to today's episode. If you joined me last week, you know that I kicked off my Summer Yumminess Series where I am supporting your soul's growth with yummy nuggets of love. Last week, I gifted you the foreword and introduction from my latest book, Believe Angels Don't Lie, a heavenly view of God's plan for your well-being. For this week, I am giving you another chapter, a full chapter, Chapter 1, Angels. This book and audiobook are available on all major retailers and on Audible. Inside this chapter, I share with you how our angels have our back day in and day out, especially when we are open to receiving their help by inviting them into our lives. I share with you how when we feel stuck in life, unable to see the light at the end of our own tunnel of despair, it's time for a lifeline of hope and finding faith. I know you're going to love this episode, and I can't wait to hear how you like it in the comment section. I hope you enjoy all the yumminess inside of Chapter 1.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
Chapter 1, Angels. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. Psalms 91, 11 through 12 ESV. When talking about angels, I like to tell my clients and peeps that angels have our backs day in and day out, especially so when we are open to receiving their help by inviting them into our life. We are souls who have been incarnated into human form. In this form, our main focus is to remember love. Being human means that you and I are equally flawed, meaning that we each have our own unique qualities, some of which we may believe are flaws. Our flaws can be the call to grow and change an old pattern or belief. Yet we are nevertheless still beautiful souls. In being flawed, we have the opportunity to learn many lessons through our human experience. Though some experiences are harder to process than others, great blessings come with each lesson learned. Yet, when those experiential lessons become uncomfortable, our energy can instantly plummet without our conscious permission. In a world full of fear, claiming responsibility for our personal and collective consciousness is one of great importance. When we rise to the occasion by choosing love over that which no longer serves us, we must first address our connection to Source. We have to heal our experiences, not just try to forget them. We are in a time and place where it seems almost normal to walk away from painful memories and cut people out of our lives before understanding and healing the reason we experienced what we did. What I have come to know and fully trust is that when I'm sharing Spirit's messages with either a single client, a small group, a large audience, over a video, or in writing, a collective healing occurs. I have witnessed through prayer, connection to the divine, and Spirit's guiding messages that in order for us to be spiritually whole, we have to put the time and effort into working on our relationship with God and with our higher self. Finding our faith. When we feel stuck in life, unable to see a light at the end of our tunnel of despair, it's time for our lifeline of hope to come in and help us to rise above our situation. We don't feel depleted and stuck in our own life because we lack talent or worth. It's always been about divine timing. Our joy is determined by several factors, like where we are in learning a lesson and whether we have released the energy that binds us to this time and place. It's also related to our level of faith. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much faith do you have? It is commonplace for us to become so busy with family, friends, work, and our to do lists that we forget to stop and take a breath of air. It's also pretty common for us to try and negotiate with God rather than trust the process and allow ourselves the experience of our now. It's not a common practice to say a prayer asking for angelic guidance. Sometimes I even forget to call on them. But doing this is dangerous because when we put our wants above all else, we lose focus on what's real and where love is available to us. We can shift this by regularly committing to doing our you work. Doing our you work is the most necessary component in reaching our desired outcome because it forces us to focus on love rather than lack. Braden's story, which follows, exemplifies what happens when we trust the process. It shows the miracles that can occur when we are connected to God, surrendering our need to control and practicing full faith. The moment I met baby Braden is one I will keep forever in my heart. He was 6 months old. He had been diagnosed in utero with clubfoot, a diagnosis that was later retracted, and a rare brain disorder called Linzencephaly, also known as smooth brain. His parents, Katie and Jonathan, had experienced many challenges and emotions through their struggles with fertility before conceiving Braden. They faced many more during the pregnancy, the delivery, and following his birth. Unsure of the outcome, both their spirits and their faith had plummeted. It seems every time they turned a corner, they were met with more worries and little hope for his survival. By the time their infant son was released from the hospital, hospice care was already in place. His parents tiptoed emotionally through each moment, wondering if it may be his last. I knew about this through my daughter Lauren, who is friends with Katie. I had also been following the family's journey on Facebook and had been sending distant healing and prayers to them. Katie knew that I was a healer, and once Braden was born, she decided to seek out different types of holistic care. She reached out to me, asking if I could work with babies, and we set up our first session for the following week. Before every session, I open for an angel call, a form of meditation where I am transported to a celestial plane. During the time in this plane, the energy of God is shared through Jesus or other ascended masters, along with my team of angels. They will impress upon me how each reading or healing session will flow. I will also be guided as to what tools or methods to use in the upcoming session. As I was preparing for Braden's first session, I received the message that the session would be directed at reinstilling faith. When Katie walked into the studio with Braden, God's love filled my being. As I began, I held my hands over Braden's heart, and an instant soul connection was made. I then moved from focusing on Braden's health issues to focusing on Katie's current state of being. I was guided by the angels to proceed with a direct, slow manner to deliver messages to Katie. A departed loved one came through with reassurance and supportive love for their family. I was impressed with the image of the number 6, along with the message that were more souls waiting to come into their family if they ever decided to have more children. I could feel Katie's relief in my body as her departed loved one shared how Braden would surprise the medical doctors with his strength. I also was impressed with the sense that all would be well, and though they would experience setbacks, Braden would develop beyond expectations. I knew that this meant there would be a miracle moment, and we would see it when the timing was right. In subsequent sessions with Braden, I was guided to work more with crystals and sound healing. After one session where I was guided to make a large circle of amethyst crystals around his body, the angels impressed an image within my mind of a baby blanket with tiny chips of amethyst sewn into it. The vision was as clear as a photograph. I shared what I'd seen with my daughter Lauren and asked her if she would help me create this blanket for Braden. Being an experienced mother of 4 and a foster mother to 14, I instinctively knew that the main part of the blanket needed to house the crystals, while an outer cover could be taken off for washing. Lauren and I joined forces, united in love, to create this vision. The end product was truly a labor of love. When Braden and Katie arrived for our next session, I placed the blanket on the healing table. When Katie put him down on the blanket, the smile on his face was all I needed to know that he felt the divine love and healing being offered from this new comfort blanket. The day came for a miracle to be revealed. Up to this point, Spirit hadn't shown me Braden as a young man. In my pre session angel call, Jesus showed me a singing bowl being played over Braden's head, and I knew that vibrational music waves would open a higher level of healing for him. I shared this with Katie when she came for the session. As I played the rose quartz singing bowl, Braden's face lit up with joy. His whole body absorbed the energy as Spirit sent more messages for Katie. I shared how Jesus had shown me Braden as an adolescent. Since his body was going through many changes, I saw that he could possibly need surgery or a GI tube from other issues related to his inverted intestines. The angels also said that there were going to be visible, miraculous changes in his next MRI. I always offer each client follow up instructions to aid their healing journey. And after this particular session, I suggested that Katie download singing bowl music for Braden. About a week later, I received word from Katie that Braden had been re-diagnosed. Based on genetic and brain testing, Braden's diagnosis had changed from lencephaly, which comes with a life expectancy cap, to septo-optic dysplasia, which does not. She explained how, though this neurological disorder would still bring developmental delays, the limits of what Braden could or could not do were no longer defined. A miracle can only be revealed when we are ready to receive it. Being ready does not happen by forcing an outcome or denying love. Rather, it comes from participating in our own health by doing our you work. Katie's restoration of faith was the you work she needed to do. Her willingness to participate in her healing and make changes following the angel's guidance was crucial to me receiving the image of Braden as a young man. And there was an immediate payoff, because that was the moment when Katie's hope and faith returned. Had Katie not been open and ready to receive divine love through angelic messages, this miracle moment would not have happened. If we are not open to receiving God's love, the angels cannot offer us guidance. It is a matter of free will. It's up to us to choose love or deny it. Finding joy in the process. See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and bring you to the place I have prepared. Exodus 23:20, NIV. The truth is that we are never fully complete in our healing work. This life that we have been gifted is a true adventure, and we are here to experience, evolve, and emerge out of fear and into love's embrace. But how can we experience joy when we are always either working or healing or still in pain? I wondered this myself, so I did what I do best. I sat down on my meditation pillow to talk with God and the angels. The answer that came was to look back on the life I created for myself by following the 12 goddess principles. This view showed me that by connecting with and channeling spirit for the people who come my way, I'm not only witnessing profound truths and healing for my clients, but they are also healing truth for my soul. I can experience joy while this healing is taking place because the process of healing itself becomes joyful. By living in alignment with my goddess truth, I've experienced how expressing love through the action of my gifts helps ignite others to use their gifts as well. The same is true for each of us. When we share our goddess truths by expressing our gifts and talents, we help others in turn. When we choose to live in alignment and express our soul's truth as spiritual beings, we provide an example for others on how living a soul-aligned life can bring forth love, passion, and joy. The angels often impress the truth that we are not yet fully aware of the profound impact we have on others' lives. The healing that comes when a message is delivered is an undeniable force of divine love at work. I have witnessed immense healing take place when clients hear from the loved ones who are no longer living in the physical world. This healing can alter clients' paths profoundly, allowing them to make the necessary changes to improve their life circumstances. I have also experienced personal healing from past events and traumas just from delivering these messages to others. I feel an emotional connection to both my clients and their loved ones in heaven. It is a mystical bond that connects through time and space. The role of fear. As souls in human form, We were created to feel emotions as a way to receive and express love. Unfortunately, many painful experiences cause a separation from love, and fear moves in and takes its place. Fear is a feeling, an emotion, and an action. Fear can be felt internally as well as delivered to others. Fear tells us lies to keep us victims to the circumstances of our lives. But fear doesn't need to stop us from having our divine conversation. My favorite part of talking with God and his team of celestial beings is that I get to be my authentic self. I can speak candidly to spirit just as I would a friend, no filter, just plain old me. We can show up real, broken, afraid, worried, or angry, and we are accepted just as we are. I keep my conversations real, swear at times, and use a firm voice when necessary in order to get an important point across. In that conversation, we get to drop our fear at the door because, as celestial beings of divine love, angels will never judge us or our choices. Their job is beautiful and simple. They get to gently guide and illuminate our path. The ultimate goal is for you to find your soul's truth by learning and growing through your own goddess truth. This brings the soul into alignment, which some call enlightenment. What I have learned from the angels is that every soul is connected to God, but not everyone chooses to open to and live within that connection. When we are connected to our higher self, our life flows with ease. The connection to our soul self is a vertical and boundless light energy. You can see it as a cord of energy that connects from the crown of your head to your soul self in heaven. This energy cord gets blocked or shut off over time with the debris left over from life's experiences. Your goal to living your life in alignment, being on your soul's path, and living your purpose is to strengthen the connection flowing through this divine cord. The soul is placed in the body like a rough diamond and must be polished, or the luster of it will never appear. Daniel Defoe. Exercise. When you feel doubt, when you're unsure of something you're feeling, or when you're pondering the truth of something you're reading, take a moment to do the following core color meditation exercise to align with your soul self. The angels guided me to develop this powerful tool to help guide us back into faith. It works with everything from relationships to foods, medication, readings, writing, and more. Core color meditation. Begin by breathing and setting your intention to connect to your soul self. Take a moment to breathe in and out several times while sitting upright with your feet planted firmly on the ground. With an inhalation, bring your attention to the soles of your feet. The soles of your feet connect you to the here and now, and to your place here on earth. Cycle your breath several times until you feel the energy or sensation begin to move in your feet. Now bring your attention to the crown of your head. The crown is your connection to the flow of divine love and truth. Breathe in and out as you invite the crown to open. You may feel goosebumps. You may feel your torso sway as the energy begins to flow. Move your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart center. This is the seat of your soul, where you and God connect. As you bring your breath into your heart center, you will feel expansive, loved, and safe. As you continue to breathe into your heart center, imagine your breath connecting with a color. This color will emerge as you breathe. It may have been your favorite color your entire life, or one you recall from your childhood. This is your soul's core color. There is no right or wrong color, as only you know your core color. Don't stress if you are unable to connect with your color right away. Just pick a color and move on. With practice, your confidence will grow, sparking your clear intuitive connection to your core color. After you've connected with your color for a while, bring your focus back to the crown of your head and invite the divine energy from above to flow inward and down past your eyes, through your throat, and along the length of your spine. Feel it move past your hips, down your legs, and into your feet. Then bring your awareness back to the center of your chest, your heart center, and notice the two energies begin to merge. Your core color begins to glow more brightly, and with each breath in, this energy flows throughout your body. Invite the energy to encircle your body as a shimmering sphere of love that embraces your entire being. This is your soul's truth merged with God surrounding you, supporting you, protecting you. Stay here for as long as you like. In this meditative state, you can find answers and truths and know what is serving you or what is not. Surrounded by this color sphere, connect with whatever it is you doubt, and notice if it is outside your energy sphere or within. If it is within, it serves you. If it appears outside of the sphere, you can take a moment to connect to it with your breath, inviting it into your sphere. Notice whether it comes in naturally. If you first see the item you are questioning within your sphere, this is a clear yes. If it comes in when invited, you have the option to bring it into your life. If it is stubbornly remaining outside the sphere, it either doesn't serve you at all or it may not be the right time. If this happens, wait a few days and try the exercise again to see if anything changes. Journal prompts. After completing the core color meditation, use the following prompts to write about your experience in your journal. How do you feel this energy within your body? How does it feel when the item is outside the sphere? How does it feel when you move the item into your sphere? Where in your body do you feel the energy? Does your sphere have moments where it weakens or dulls, or do you see a break in its surface? Write any additional findings and questions you have. This exercise will guide you through knowing what serves you and what does not. You can repeat it time and time again to help you discern what is serving you and what is not. Angels, God, and sacred space. Let me tell you more about my dear angels, how I got to know them, and how you too can get to know them on a profound and personal level. The angels who speak to me are not one singular being, but rather a communion of heavenly beings made up of God's energy. This energy emits a pulse which feels like a vibration. Of course, whether we connect to this pulse or not is up to us. Free will is always at play here, and our soul's journey as we learn, grow, and evolve are the keys that can either open the door or keep it locked up tight. Our intent is the guidepost. We must have clear intention paired with faith and prayer for our intuition to open fully. Setting an intention is a deliberate choice. It's a decision that we make. Without a clear intention to connect to God, we are open to receive lower vibrational energy. Lower vibrational energy consists of negative, fearful, dark, or even evil energy. Your intuitive sense, or sixth sense as some call it, is the conduit for connecting to this energy or picking it up. Your interpretations of the energy can be witnessed through one or sometimes all of the senses. Every soul is born with the ability to connect their senses to the divine in one way or another. Your senses are also how you will interpret and express the gifts and talents that are unique to you, as well as to every living soul. One of the important lessons the angels taught me early on was the need for setting sacred space. As noted earlier, sacred space is where you go to do your you work, be it a physical place or an internal space. In order for the divine to work with you and through you, in order for the angels and divine love to be present in your life, you must first establish sacred space. The angels say setting sacred space is similar to a contract. You set the intention of holding love and compassion for both yourself and for everyone else, with no exceptions. Only then can you agree to do the you work and hold yourself at a higher divine standard of thinking and being. Their fearful thoughts have no value, and love is therefore amplified. Sacred space can be used in situations of distress, such as in a troubled relationship. Let's take my client Carrie as an example. Carrie came to me for a reading to connect with her deceased father. As soon as I grabbed my journal to scribe impressions, Spirit flooded me with a sense of unease that comes with a drama-filled relationship. In my mind's eye, I saw a tornado, which is my sign for drama. I also saw a bull, which signals that someone is bullying or forcing their energy and thoughts on another. I asked Carrie whether she was involved in a relationship that was causing her stress. She looked up with tears streaming down her face and nodded her head. As she did so, Carrie's father came forward out of the veil and pointed to Carrie's chest, impressing in me a heaviness, which is my sign for grief. I told Carrie that her father was standing by her side and that he was worried about the grief she was holding onto and carrying within her. Her father then spoke about the troubled relationship that was burdening his daughter and causing her grief over his departure to be amplified. Carrie confirmed that a woman she was working with, one whom she considered a friend, was forcing her opinions, thoughts, and energy onto Carrie. Spirit impressed within my mind the vision of a snake with its tongue out, which for me represents verbal abuse. Carrie said her friend was using slander and monetary manipulation to control Carrie and the work she was doing. Carrie's father held his hand on her shoulder to show he was supporting his daughter and spoke with the same gentle tone he had in life. His advice was for Carrie to stop giving her energy away and instead to pull it back and direct it within towards self-love. He also reminded her that when she chooses love over fear, she will be set free of the controlling energy from this painful relationship. Spirit led me to guide Carrie through creating sacred space for her friend and teach Carrie how to hold her friendship in a place of love instead of a place of fear. As it turned out, this was the perfect pathway for healing the situation. Carrie left our session with the tools she needed to strengthen and heal the way she viewed herself and her friend. This, accompanied with her father's loving messages, eased and lifted her grief. The work of angels. Angels don't always appear in groups. They can appear in singular form as well. No matter how they arrive, their job is to gently guide and support us without interfering with our free will. They can show or reveal themselves to us by taking on an energetic form or flowing in the energy of light. Depending on the person, situation, and circumstance, the angels will choose the highest and best way to reveal themselves to us. They will never come to instill fear or harm or to influence us negatively. The job of angels is to serve God, not man, and they do so with divine, holy love. Like other divine beings of God's love, such as archangels, saints, and ascended masters, angels gently guide and support us. The one God loves so much that he calls us his children. Most of us begin to forget God and divine love in our young lives, around 4 to 6 years of age. We are influenced by others, and the conditioning from the adults in our lives molds our young minds with a new censored, fearful thought pattern. Once fear enters our thoughts, we then spend the rest of our life questioning God, trying to remember him, outright denying him, or we can choose to do our you work and regain our alignment with God. Children have perfect memories of God. Ask any toddler who's able to speak, and you will hear how they know God and remember heaven. When my granddaughter Riley was 4, she told me how she remembered God. One warm summer day while sitting by our pool, Riley said innocently, sweetly, and entirely out of the blue, "Mom, when I was in heaven with God, I was in line to come into Mommy's tummy after Maisie," her younger sister. "But I wanted to be first, so I pushed her out of the way." I smiled with tears of love in my eyes, and I asked her, "Oh, Riley, what did Maisie do when you pushed her out of the way?" Shrugging her shoulders, Riley replied, matter-of-factly, "She cried like she always does." And that was that. Riley went right back to swimming as if nothing else in the world mattered. Since that day, Riley has shared several heartwarming moments like this with us. She even brought a message to me from my friends Jody and Susie, who had both passed away. The fact that Riley hardly knew Jody and had never heard of or met my old high school friend Susie didn't stop the loving messages from coming through. Riley said, Mom, remember your friend with the hair like Carrie's?" My cousin and BFF Carrie has blonde hair similar to Jody's. She's saying hello with the big purple wings, and her friend that you know with the dark hair is with her. You went to school with her, and she has blue wings. They are dancing and waving at you. I just about fell over. I had no doubt that Jody would visit me. I was honored to be by her side and holding her hand on the day she passed from breast cancer. But when she brought Susie with her, I was amazed. We had not spoken in over 30 years. Most every religion speaks of angels, spirit beings, or devas as God's messengers. Archangels are also God's messengers. They are celestial beings of light, similar to angels. The only difference is that in the hierarchy of angels, they are the highest form, closest to God. Archangels are distinctive in their energy, and it is in their nature to impart God's will. We can begin to invite angels into our lives at any time. Through our intention, prayer, and faith, angels can offer loving, gentle support. Exercise. Practicing this exercise helped open my eyes in life with the angels. I invite you to try this lovely angel ceremony as you experiment for yourself. You can choose to start on any given day, continue practicing the ceremony for 7 consecutive days. Be sure to journal your mood, feelings, and experience daily, as you will find it helpful to reflect back on your observations. Angel ceremony. Begin by setting a physical altar and holding intention in your internal sacred space where your angel ceremony will convene for 1 week. Choose someplace quiet where you can meditate and reflect. Your altar can be on a tabletop, on the floor, or simply on your nightstand. It doesn't need to be fancy because you can designate any space as sacred space. Amplify the love to your altar by adding things like flowers, crystals, religious items, books, or even little notes of love and intention. Place a white candle in the center of your altar. If necessary, it can be battery operated. Every day, sit for at least 10 minutes and mentally repeat the day's mantra 3 times before going into silence. Sit in front of your altar with your eyes closed and your spine straight. Remain in silence, meditating on the mantra for as long as you wish. My recommendation is to sit for at least 10 minutes. Take a moment before getting up to stretch your body, slowly allowing the divine energy to merge with yours. Journal your experience. Day 1. Prayer Mantra. Angels of God, I invite you into my life. Day 2. Prayer Mantra. Angels of God, I invite you to lift my energy. Day 3. Prayer Mantra. Angels of God, guide me through this day. Day 4. Prayer Mantra. Angels of God, assist me with, add your petition here. Day 5. Prayer Mantra. Angels of God, fill my heart with divine love and light. Day 6. Prayer Mantra. Angels of God, illuminate the path for my highest and best good. Day 7. Prayer Mantra. Dearest angels of God, thank you for your love and guidance throughout this week. I offer you my love and gratitude. Journal prompts. After completing the exercise, use the following prompts to write your experience in your journal. What prayer mantra did you use today? What did you experience while using it? There are no angels outside of God. God is the giver of life, eternal love, the Father Almighty. God makes up all of heaven and earth, what is seen and not seen. Everything exists in God, with God, and through God. Praying and honoring God is our birthright and an element of our free will. We remember God in the womb and as we are birthed into life. As you do the exercises presented in this chapter, the pathway will open for you to continue to work with the angels. By simply setting sacred space within your being and in your life, you invite divine guidance in, moment by moment. When we are able to shift our thoughts from being victims who have no control over a situation to truly loving ourselves and claiming our responsibility, we can separate ourselves from the energy of fear. When we choose to hold sacred space within our heart for someone who is hurting us, we shift our pattern of automatically receiving fear to learning to accept love instead. We also find ourselves able to honor the person as a teacher for our growth and see them with compassion, thus allowing the relationship to continue or sometimes end in the highest vibration of love. Since the angels are messengers of God, when we let them into our lives, we let God in too. This is transformational. You will quickly see how this shift in perspective changes everything. All right, how was that? I hope you got a chance to really lean in and understand the role of fear and how it can stop us from having a divine conversation, and how your angels can really tap in and you can have this profound personal relationship with them. Remember that the Empath and Sensitive Soul Masterclass is right around the corner. To purchase your tickets, go to geniestreet.com/events. And I can't wait to see you there. To order the full copy of Believe Angels Don't Lie, you can head on over to my website, geniestreet.com, under books, and then under Believe. It's very easy. It's available on all major retailers, and you can really take this to the next level. I hope you have a beautiful day, and you know I know what I know, because angels don't lie.